a community, and because every community is a group of people of common thoughts, beliefs, cultures, things of that nature. But if you get in a community where it's already understood that we're moving in the same direction, it's just easier to connect with people, just being active in a community. So you'll see a lot of people that's in the morning meetup that are just active in the community, and people say, yo, oh, Nella, I see you, oh, right? The second thing is build something. The best networking tool is something that you've built, a company, some sort of success. My goal wasn't let me build out my network. My goal was to let me sell as many t-shirts as possible. And people just started seeing the t-shirts around. Oh, I'm seeing your shirts everywhere. Who is this person who got these t-shirts? If you make enough noise, people will search for where this noise is coming from.
Don't miss that, y'all. David is saying become so good at what you're doing that you become magnetic, and people now want to add you to their network.
Oh, absolutely.
Become an authority in your space, and people then want to add you to their network. I think that's probably the strongest thing you can do. And then the second thing, just pay for it. Just pay. Like, forget all of the wheeling and dealing and trying to meet people in these free events that's free before 10, and just pay. Pay to be in certain rooms. If I didn't pay to be in certain rooms, I wouldn't have access to many of the people who are in my network today. And that's just the bottom line. There's nothing wrong with paying for it.
Yep.
From Black EquityCon.
Yeah, we's here. We are here. Live podcast episode, Social Proof Podcast episode 200 something.
200 and something.
Man, do y'all know how we got started? So I started like doing interviews, and then I interviewed Donni, and then I think the very next week was like, yo, that went well. And we kept doing the podcast together. And some of you may know the story where for, I don't know how many episodes, a bunch of episodes, I'm only interviewing people. So I have a linear way of asking questions where I'm taking people on a journey, but it's very strategic in how I'm asking questions. And then Donni gets on and we just start talking. We have conversations about entrepreneurship, and they tear Donni up in the comments every episode.
I think some of them are here who were tearing me up.
Was there anybody that didn't like Donni when she first joined the
Y'all
podcast?
Can be honest. Raise your hand.
Thank you
right
for your
there.
honesty. Okay, let's do it. Why didn't you like Donni? Somebody, can we get a mic out there? Why didn't you like Donni? You put pressure on people. What was so wrong with Donni? Say it again. You felt like she was a little too bougie for you.
I am bougie?
I heard some absolutely. There was some cosigns.
Did you say overconfident? I'm overcomplicated?
Oh, you overcomplicate things.
So I'm bougie and I talk too much.
And it sounds like he still don't like you.
We got beef?
He getting it all out right now. He said you bougie, like, you overcomplicate things.
I didn't like the way you dress, the way you speak, didn't sit right with me. Anybody else? Like, for real, anybody in here did
No, take him the mic again. I think I got questions for him.
I didn't like his answer.
All right, so say your name so we know who you are.
My name is Quadi. I'm based out of Orlando, and I own a cleaning business.
Okay, and you didn't like Donni because she was bougie and she overcomplicated things. Explain that.
I think it mainly came off as she was bougie, but once I started to hear the content that she was giving on the podcast, I was like, nah, she knows what she's talking about. So I kind of changed how I felt about it after I heard her a couple times.
Were you on the yacht last night?
Yes.
Am I bougie?
No.
In a whole circle. She just throw it. I'm like, I turn around and she's throwing it in a circle. I said, Donni, what are you doing?
Well, I appreciate you guys who did not like me in the beginning. I actually, the full story, when we started that next week, I didn't even know what a podcast really was. Do you
Mhm.
remember that? I'm like, Dave, I don't even watch podcasts.
Yo, we did maybe like 20 or 30 in, and she couldn't get the name of the podcast right. We're together, and she's like, yo, yeah, I'm co-host of the Sleep is for Suckers podcast. I'm like, no, Donnie, it's not even called that.
That's not the name.
Yeah.
It took about 3 months for me to get the name right. And it took about 6 months for me to stop tagging the wrong social media profile.
That's a fact.
I did not know. I couldn't remember the name of the podcast. I did not watch podcasts. I never watched, at that time, one of our podcasts like Back, because I don't like to hear myself talk. And the funny thing is, so David says, yo, sis, we should do the podcast together. And I'm like, how much time does that take? Because I don't have time for like free stuff. 7 figures later. Yeah, I didn't get the concept, but you guys ate me alive and I almost quit.
Yep.
I told David that I felt like I was bringing his brand down. I said, your audience loves you and I don't want to mess up your relationship with your audience. So I think you should do this by yourself. And David said,
I see something. Yo, I'm telling, like, you can't listen to all of the reviews. I know you're supposed to listen to your customer, but there got to be some sort of balance between trusting yourself and trusting people who think they know what they want.
Yeah.
So, what's your name, bro? What was his name?
Hater. What's your name?
Hi, hater.
Hi, hater.
What's your
Shout
name?
out.
What's his name? What's his name? Huh?
Wadir.
Wadir. So
You ain't got no room.
so Wadir.
You don't have any room, Wadir.
So look. So Wadir thought he knew what was best for him.
Yeah.
By saying, I don't like this new format.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like this other person who's I guess maybe taking the conversation. And it wasn't her taking the conversation away from what you're used to, it's me. Because normally it's me directing questions at one person. But now we're just having conversation. But what I know about our conversations when nobody's around is like, it is like the jewels really get dropped if you ever go to lunch with us.
Yeah.
Like just having a conversation. So I know what's best for my audience.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yo, I just see something. I see something and I feel something. The episode to me was really, really good. And I'm like, yo, you offer an amazing perspective that I don't have. Like some of the way that Donni frames some things and the way she explains in a more systematic way, it's what's needed because I don't, if we do the Brain Picker podcast and people start talking about systems, I defer to her because she understands it. She really thinks like a CEO. I think like a really talented visionary. She thinks, how does the business operate internally? She thinks of the stuff that I would never even have a question about. But because of that dynamic, I'm like, yo, I see something. And because I'm intimately intertwined with what my audience needs, I know what you need. Your baby might not want vegetables, but you know they need vegetables. Yeah. So you got to, but the only reason I think most people get swayed by the comments or by what their current customers suggest for their business is because you're either not secure in where you're going or the vision for where you're going isn't clear enough.
Yeah, and in our case, we used to laugh at the comments. Like I would read like, yo, they are eating me alive. I am all kinds of ugly and stupid and stuck up and will never have a man and all this stuff. Like I am all kinds of things. And it wasn't your comments that affected me. I was concerned about David, and David is really non-confrontational. So I'm like, I bet he wants to like end this partnership and because he's over there like, yo, this is trash. And I was trying to make it easy for him to say, okay, yeah, let's do something different. And here we are. It's going on 2 years almost.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Y'all not gonna clap?
August will be 2 years.
So I guess this is a good point. Donni, how do you balance? Because we just did it the other day where I put the two pictures, the black one and the white one of the new thumbnail. Y'all remember that? And what did everybody choose? White. And what did we pick? Black. Yo, and there was some people was really mad. Like, oh, my opinion doesn't matter. And it does. It does. But can I tell you what happened? Can I tell you what happened? I tell Trey. Is Trey here? Trey's here? So, Travion, stand up real quick.
Trey
He does
is
all the
responsible
thumbnails.
for that terrible thumbnail that's on the episode that just released today.
She don't like the picture you picked, bro.
You did me dirty. I can't even see you, but you did me dirty.
She'll like the picture of the last thumbnail, bro. Anyway.
There he is, right there.
So, yes. So, this is Trey.
I think because I didn't pay his invoice yet, he was like, I'm...
So, this is Trey. He just recently, you just graduated from high school, right? And been doing the thumbnails for me for how long? Say it again?
I've been doing the thumbnails for about a year.
Yeah, so how old are you?
19.
19 years old, just graduated high school and was doing graphics for the podcast while he was in high school. So give him a round of applause just by being in that environment. Okay, so now that he's here, you want to really give him the stuff we tell him on a regular basis?
Absolutely.
Or is this not the time?
This is the time.
Okay, let's let him start.
Go.
How has your experience been working with me and Donni?
Y'all are going to get on me about like me.
Is his mic on?
Is his mic on?
I don't know if his mic is on. Is his mic on? Check. Just test it. Test it. Test it. You trying to shake it to test it, Reese? I mean,
let's do a mic check.
How does that work? All right, give it to him. Let him test it. So,
y'all can hear me?
There you go. There you go.
All right. So for the most part, y'all going to get on me about like just meeting deadlines. Donni definitely like not over promising or anything. Just be 100% upfront, and yeah, that's pretty much it.
Mm-hmm.
I fired Trey.
Really?
And
I almost fired him mad times.
And then I hired him back. I'm like, yo, Trey, this is Trey. First of all, Trey is probably one of the most. He's in my top 3 of talented graphic designers. Phenomenal work. And at the time that we started working together, you were 18. I think you were still in high school. And he just over-delivered so much in the beginning that I was so spoiled by him exceeding deadlines. So then when he started like making the deadline, I'm like, what is that about? Then I started referring Trey business. And my clients' projects are getting done, but mine aren't getting done. And I'm like, Trey, my feelings are hurt at this point. And so I fired him, but I knew that it was temporary because I just wanted you to feel the sting of what it was like to lose a valuable customer. But I always knew because nobody does it better or faster than Trey. So
I don't know if I'd go it faster just yet. He's learning. He's still growing.
Oh, he's spot on for me. I'm talking about same day turnaround.
So here's the thing.
That's because Donni
I introduced you to Donni, and then Donni introduced you to. So this is where the ball got dropped on our graphics. But this is a lesson, right? And because he's young, we've been able to like really give him lessons on not overcommitting. Listen, if I was going to teach you how to make $1 million, would you give me 10,000? Like if I had a course teach you how to make $1 million a year positive, you're going to make $1 million. Would you give me 10,000? Of course you would. It's no brainer, right? So in a calendar year, we make 7 figures with the podcast. But there's 21 things that I extracted from that you're going to need to launch a podcast. But I only got time to give you 3 right now. One is you need a distribution platform. The distribution platform is what you upload your podcast to. That platform sends it to Spotify, Apple, Google Play, so that your supporters can actually listen to your podcast. You're also going to need a microphone. You need a really good microphone so it's crispy audio. And 3, you need an income strategy. This is not necessarily a hobby, unless you're going to make it a hobby. But I can teach you how I made the 7 figures with these 21 things. Now, the good news is you don't have to give me 10,000. My ebook is only $37, okay? So listen, go to podcastebook.com and get the 21 things that you need. And I can explain it in detail, all the things that you need, okay? Podcastebook.com. Let's get to the episode. And I'll say something like, yo, Trey, I need this by this day. If you can't do it, tell me no. Because like he has a tendency to just say, "Yeah, I got you," right? Out of I don't know if it's out of fear of disappointing or whatever,
Yeah,
or
it's definitely fear, and I've been like working
is
on
it?
that. But the reason why it's with Donnie, because
I'm
she's
definitely
like
afraid of you
very
guys.
stern and she don't
Wait,
play.
what'd you
So
say?
I said the reason like with you, you're like very stern. So I try to be like, all right, let me make sure I get it done. I mean, with you too, but it's just like I don't know.
He's nice and I'm stern. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, that's definitely what I'm saying. 100%.
I feel that. You know what's cool though? Him learning this at 18 or 19, when he grows up, he'll be able to manage it. Some of us, we can clap it up. Some of us are in our 20s, 30s, and 40s and still don't know how to manage clients. Or if you drop the ball and your clients get mad, you get mad at your client for getting mad. You come up with some excuse why your client is wrong. What's cool is Trey doesn't do that. Like he's the most humble person. He'd be like, "Yo, Mr.
Yeah.
David, I'm sorry. Like, I'm sorry." Like, that is a skill or a trait that most people never attain. Most people, when they don't do a good job, they come up with a good excuse on why they didn't do a good job. Never own it. Ever. Y'all know people like that? Like, don't tell me, all right, I had a situation where this guy, me and Joe, so this guy hung a TV on the wall, right? At our new studio. And he had to move it from one place on the wall to another place on the wall. So when I get there, the TV, it makes the sounds like, and I look behind it, and the TV is like, the nail is coming out the wall. It's like falling off the wall. So I'm like, yo, my man, why is this? What's up? Call the dude. So Joe calls him, and he calls him on speakerphone. He said, "Hey, what's up, man?" He's like, "Yo, one of the TVs is like falling out the wall." And he says, "Which one?" He tells him which one. And he said, "The one we had to move?" He said, "Yeah." He said, "Yeah, see, we had to move it. The first place was good, but because we had to move the second one, but I'll come by it." I'm like, what? Why is your default something putting the pressure off of you as if it's my fault that we had to move it, but you're the one that moved it and put it in the wrong place? You didn't find the stud. But if you really, I just want y'all to really, really start to think about how you interact with your customers. Most of you use excuses on a regular basis in terms of business. There's always a reason why you can't get something done. Why you ain't make no sales. Oh, well, I have my job and I have my kids, and there's always a reason. There's always a reason. Say no more excuses.
No more excuses.
Say no more excuses. That episode of Naveen Jain talking about obsession changed my life. You have any thoughts on obsession? Being obsessed not only for success, but being obsessed about improvement.
Yeah. I think obsession is healthy. I think the way most people understand it, because we see movies about being obsessed and it's dangerous and traumatic, I think the way most people understand it is a misinterpretation. But I believe that, especially whatever you are intentional about doing, like whatever your goals are, I believe that you have to be obsessed with it. And obsessed meaning whatever it takes, however long it takes, whatever I have to do to make this happen, I am going to do it. And I'm singularly focused on getting it done. Like, you can't distract me. You can't deter me. No matter what you say to me, no matter how you attempt to throw me off, no matter how many obstacles come my way, I'm getting this done, right? So I've had goals before. And I've communicated those goals to people, and they're like, "Ooh, I don't know about that." But I'm still going. I'm still like, "Nah, I'm pretty sure this is going to happen." And then they'll follow up and they'll say, "Is it done yet?" "Nope." "Yeah, you probably need to change course." Like, I hear what you're saying, but I don't receive it. I am going to get this done. I'm going to get that situation, that job, that contract, that relationship, whatever it is, I'm going to get this done. And it wasn't until I became really obsessed with my goals that I started not just hitting them, but like busting through them.
You know what prevents? I think what prevents obsession is one, excuses, but two, complaining. If you are complaining about your situation or anything in it, that's a clear indication that you're not obsessed with the solution. Because we spend so much time complaining. Yeah, I am very careful not to complain about anything. This is one of the things, like, even one of the members on my team, like, she'll like talk to me about what's going on in the business and how the systems didn't work or how the people didn't work or whatever. And I'm like, yo, that's a red flag to me. Complaining about anything. Because if you're spending time complaining, you can't be solving it. Y'all know any complainers in your life? But I want you to pay attention to the amount of time that you spend complaining.
I have a question.
Talk to me.
So what's the difference between complaining and just stating the reality of what's actually happening?
Well, sometimes stating the reality of what's actually happening, if it's not for the purpose of finding out how to fix the reality, it's complaining.
Did y'all catch that? So just putting out what the problem is without the intent of finding a solution for it, that's the difference. So we can state what the actual problem is, like, hey, these systems aren't working. We need to set up a meeting with such and such team to figure out where we're dropping the ball. Or, those systems she set up ain't working, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's a difference. So when you are analyzing your own business or other people and giving them feedback, are you giving that feedback in the form of actual factuals of what's happening with some type of helpful feedback attached to it? Or are you just looking to tear something down without any type of constructive feedback and you're just complaining? Complaining is like gossiping.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, it really is easy to complain because people will always listen. I want you to really catch it. People will always listen. Here's what's cool about me and Donnie's relationship. I can't sit there and complain without some solutions. Her mind automatically goes to solution. Now, every now and again, we will have a heart-to-heart situation about personal things, right? So maybe Donnie's going through something. But even with that, it's not just, let's just talk about it for the sake of talking about it and getting up and say, "Ooh, all right, cool. That was a good meeting, Donnie. Got some stuff off my chest." There has to be some sort of end result to the issue. So there could be, we have an issue getting people to download the app. Even though the directions, let's say, are clear in the email. I'm just saying, just an example. One thing is to say, yo, man, it's clear in the email. I can't believe everybody ain't doing it. They ain't reading. What we're going to, my mind automatically goes to, let's look at the copy. Let's look at the text. Maybe it's not clear how we're putting it. You have to own every single issue. Everything that goes wrong in your life is your fault. Do y'all understand that? Everything that goes wrong in your fault, everything that goes wrong in your life is your fault. Everything. Anybody not agree? You don't agree?
You don't believe it?
Talk to me. Yes, I love this.
Right here.
Microphone, please. Where's the other mic at? Let's go. I'm ready for this one. Where'd the mic go? We just had it. Oh, Reese got it. Okay. Yeah, Reese is the introvert of all introverts, but he was going crazy.
Reese was turned up last night. Did y'all see Reese?
Did y'all see him?
Killing it. As soon as I turned the camera off, he was done.
We're going to talk about that too, Reese. I want to know what happened so we can recreate that. Good. Okay, go for it.
Okay, so...
Oh, my statement is everything that goes wrong in your life is your fault.
Everything that goes wrong in your life is not my fault, or
Okay.
not everything, because that's a powerful word. That's
Name
covering
something.
everything.
Give me an example.
Being born on crack, having side effects of those things. That's
Say it
not
again?
my fault. Being born on drugs, that's not your fault.
You're right.
But it has side effects that could affect your life that you can label as, this is wrong with me.
Yes.
So there are some things that actually happen to you being raped, being molested, all those things, those are very much so wrong, but that person didn't deserve that. So it's not
Absolutely.
their fault.
You're absolutely right about that. But now keep the mic. So there's a scenario. Let's say someone gets raped. It's not their fault that they got raped. But what do we do now?
You have to discover how to heal.
Say it again.
You have to discover how to heal and how to prevent it. So it's not your fault, but what you do with that thing that happened to you, I think it's your responsibility. So to sit here and to go through whatever you go through and to keep it for yourself, you didn't go through that for anything. I literally said this the other day, like, there is nothing that God does, there's nothing that you've experienced that didn't have a lesson attached to it. Like, absolutely nothing. So
100%.
regardless of me being born in the situation that I've been born in, I didn't do anything to have to cause that, but I can be an advocate for another young mother to say, hey, you should probably put that joint down because it could affect. If someone is molested, I can say, hey, this is a conversation that we're not really having with people in our community. So you probably shouldn't let your daughter sit on cousin John's lap.
Yep.
So you do have a responsibility from something that happened to you, but it's not your fault. I won't take ownership of that.
That's cool. So yes, clap it up. So my philosophy in life is I don't have selective philosophies. So the person that gets raped, that is absolutely 100% not their fault. They didn't do anything to deserve this. But if we own, what can happen is a philosophy of, well, because this happened, now there's a domino effect of all the things that happened that I'm not taking ownership for because of the one thing that happened. So I believe that life is just a series of decisions. The sum total of your life is just the sum total of all your decisions. But here's what's cool from that particular scenario. The person that gets raped, do you think that person can have some sort of advice for their daughter to prevent it?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. So let's say, for instance, the one thing I learned is, I don't need to I don't need to walk around without something in my purse. Right? And you're saying, I'm going to teach my daughter this. If you come from it from that perspective, now you have something to teach. And you can say to yourself, had I had something to protect me, maybe it wouldn't have happened. But this is God's plan for this to happen to me so I can prevent it from happening to my daughter. I just don't have selective philosophies. I'm owning everything. Me personally. There's some terrible things.
I can't let that slide.
I understand.
I can't let that slide.
So I caught COVID, right? And I caught COVID once.
You did.
And
here.
So did I do something to catch COVID? Probably not.
You did.
What'd I do?
You hung out with me.
Okay, so
who
that's
had COVID.
That's a lesson. I shouldn't hang out with Donni. That's the lesson. My point is, I started looking into who's most susceptible for catching COVID, and there are some things about the health, my lifestyle, health-wise, that I can improve. So for me personally, I say, well, so that I don't catch it again, maybe I need to take my vitamins. Let me drink more juices. Let me eat more veggies because I want to improve my health, right? The thing that happened to me, there's nothing I can do about it. If something happens to me again, I'm taking some sort of responsibility. Me personally, but go ahead. Come on.
So that's incomparable.
I'm entitled to my opinion, though, right?
You are entitled to your opinion, no matter how wrong it is. So I don't necessarily believe that everything that happens to you is your fault. I've been attached to some very traumatic experiences that were absolutely not my fault.
For sure.
Now, there was a process that I had to experience to heal from. That was my first choice. My first choice was to accept what happened to me, heal from it, and then decide what I wanted to do with that experience.
Yes.
And so from that point forward, what happened in my life was my responsibility,
Yes.
right? And I did have total ownership of it. But the first thing that we have to do, you know, and especially when we're talking about like some type of trauma, those things are not your fault. And I want to be very, very clear there. And not everybody will choose to leverage what happened to them to help other people. Some people just can never get past that, to leverage it to get past, you know, to get to other people. And I will say to people who are going through that, that is also a choice. And you're choosing to harbor certain pain that can set you free, because the truth of the matter is something traumatic happens to us all in life.
Yeah, for sure.
Our trauma is just dealt out very differently. And and this is a very different story, but I always think of the story of the two brothers who were born in a home with an alcoholic and abusive father. And the father would beat their mom, the father would beat them, and, you know, alcoholic all the time. The mom would never divorce the father. So they were born into this lifestyle of abuse. And they're adults now, and one of them are homeless and addicted to alcohol. The other is a very successful businessman who has a family and he's married and is, you know, happy. And they were interviewed. I believe they're twins. They were interviewed, and the homeless brother said, you know, he was asked, how did you end up in this situation? And he said, well, because I grew up seeing my father abusive to me and my brother and my mom, and an alcoholic, I became an alcoholic too, and this is my life because of what happened to me. The successful brother said, well, because I grew up with an abusive father who abused me and my brother and my mom, I refused to be a mirror of him, and I grew up to become this successful person. And so you have two people in the same household, same circumstances, traumatic experience. But the choices that they made as a result of that trauma is what projected their future and continues to do so. So regardless of what you're going through, whether it's your fault or not, you absolutely have a responsibility to make a conscious decision. Your decisions and your choices are yours, 100%. And you have to decide. And we on this platform hope to encourage you to decide to always, always choose the best possible outcome. The best possible outcome. Like, that's one of my affirmations and prayers. Like, I always say, God, I'm believing in you for the best possible outcome. If not this, then better, right? So figure out what your response to your trauma is. Like, it's pointless to try to figure out why the trauma happened to you.
Yeah.
It's just, it doesn't matter.
Sure.
It's pointless. But you were chosen for a reason. And I know people struggle with that, but I believe anyway, you were chosen for a reason. And now you can either rise as a result of it, or you can shrink as a result of it too. Either is your choice. And based on that choice, what happens next is totally up to you.
100%. That was an excellent example, and I understand that not everybody would, and maybe not everyone will take what I say as it may not apply to you, but I have a very specific niche or avatar. It's for the person that is going towards something. The person that is going towards something. It's easier to fall into woe is me and I can't believe this is happening to me than it is to own it. So my philosophy, me personally, negative things that happen to me, my fault. Positive things that happen to me, I've been blessed.
I want to invite you to pick my brain.
Mine too. Mine too.
Yours too?
Mine too.
Yours too.
They can
Okay,
pick
you
my brain.
guys. We are so excited because we just dropped our newest podcast series called the Brain Picker Podcast. David.
Oh, it's going down. You get to pick our brain. You have a business idea, a concept, you're stuck, you can't get off the ground. You need the advice of seasoned, experienced entrepreneurs. Not only entrepreneurs that are practitioners, but we got a lot of people that we've been coaching all over the last decade.
All over the globe.
That got receipts.
Not just that, you never know where your next investor might be hanging out. And the word on the street is we got all the connections.
That's a big fact.
We got all the connections. So if you want to sit down with us and pick our brains.
In front of our audience.
And we're letting you pick our brains. We won't even talk bad about you for doing it in front of our audience, bringing your business maximum exposure. Find the link somewhere around here, wherever you see it.
It's there.
And apply.
Right now.
To pick our brain.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Let's get it.
Let's get it.
Negative things that happen to me, there's some things that I haven't grown to learn, especially in business. Like I talk mostly in terms of business or entrepreneurial terms. There's always something I can do better. Someone steals from me. Now, the person stole, right? But the reason I got stolen from is because I didn't have a system in place. But some people will be so mad at the person. Say, oh my gosh, I can't trust people now. Well, it's not about people you can't trust, but I need to put a fence around people so that I can manage the expectations. But on the other side, all good things that happen to me, I truly, truly believe is not because of my talent or my ability. Like, we're reading this book. What's the book we're reading? If you don't know the book, that means you're not in the morning meetup.
Real quick, who wasn't in the morning meetup this morning that joined today? Show of hands, raise your hands, raise your hands, raise your hands.
Hey, welcome. Give some love, family.
Yes.
Yo, so this is what I got from the last 2 chapters that we read, y'all. That success is made up primarily of time and luck. Time and luck. So this past the chapter we read this morning about Warren Buffett, my man, he made like, what's he worth, 84 billion at the time he was writing it. But he said like 80 billion of that or 81 billion of that came after he was 50. But he's been investing since a child, meaning he's been doing this for 75 years. A quarter of a century he's been an investor. They were saying this other guy, what was his name? What was the other guy's name? It was a hard name to remember. But he's gotten way better returns than Warren Buffett. And if he would have started where Warren Buffett started, he'd have been worth a quadrillion or something, like something crazy, something ridiculous. But Warren's been doing it. And if y'all haven't read the book Outliers, read the book Outliers. But he's been doing it so long. The chapter previously, it was talking about luck. A lot of things that happen to us as entrepreneurs are tied into luck. What are the chances? What did you do to meet me, who's going to build a platform and invite you on and you be my best friend?
I just showed up as me.
What are the chances? Yo, it's crazy. But I do believe the better you get and the longer you do the same thing, the luckier you get.
Luckier?
Lucky. I believe it. So talk to me. Where's the mic?
Right here. He's been trying to ask a question. The
Orlando.
whole time. Yes. Reese, right here.
They said, no.
No, Dave. It's not that. You have to work at it.
Mm-hmm.
Just like the last statement when you said trauma.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't choose to be disabled.
Yeah.
You know, that was given to me.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I have to fight through it every day. So you don't ask to be put in situations to you learn from it, and stuff like that. Like I had a fear traveling down here. But, so building my business is 10 times harder because people already got the scenario that I'm not going to be successful because of my disability.
Ooh.
Yeah.
You know, just to get a job, just when I was doing jobs, I would just to go in for an interview, it was like, oh, really?
Yeah.
And then it was just, you see the look on their face.
Yeah.
So that's a constant thing every day.
For sure. But I think with Orlando, like he like helps eliminate people's mortgages, and he's on the morning meetup every single morning.
Yeah.
So he's choosing.
So
for who.
you're the perfect example of what we're talking about.
Mhm.
You said this was given to you, right? Your disability was given to you, but you are still choosing to show up as your best self, and you're choosing the best possible outcome. Look at where you are right now. You're an entrepreneur. You're investing in yourself. You're showing up. We know your name on a first name basis. You're making a difference. Like we don't see your disability. We see another entrepreneur who made a decision in themselves to show up and go after the best possible outcome.
Absolutely.
That's all I see.
Good
right?
stuff.
Every person in this room has some type of a disability. Obviously, we can see yours, right? But every person has a hidden disability inside of them.
Yep.
We're all walking around with some kind of disability. But in this room, what we see is a room full of entrepreneurs and CEOs who are choosing the best possible outcome.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Don.
Chris. Chris, he doesn't agree. It's nothing to do with luck.
Yeah, has nothing to do with luck, David.
So confidently.
Yeah.
David. It's nothing to do with luck, David.
Talk to me.
So here's the thing. So I think part of it, just going even back to what you were saying earlier, part of it has to do with self-awareness.
Hmm.
That's the only way you grow, right? So if a trauma happens to you, and if you're not willing to be self-aware enough that it's affecting you, then you can't really do anything about it. It's like having a blind spot, right?
Yep.
But the only reason why I don't believe it's luck is because for me, I believe God gives us all the opportunities in our entire lives to make change.
Yeah.
But if you choose not to take those opportunities, no matter how they may come, well, guess what? You will continue to miss out. And I think for those who actually are, quote unquote, successful for their own lives, it's because they started taking advantages of every single chance to change their own life, right?
Absolutely.
So I want you to think about it this way. Terica, right? She just was up here earlier. Shout out to her, female real estate guru. Well, she was living under a bridge, right? So what could she have done? Was it luck that she got out of that situation? No. She made some decisions on an opportunity with a refund check.
Mm-hmm.
That's the difference, right?
Yep.
And so you have to literally look at your life and look at where are the opportunities. You might not know what they lead to, but if you never take them, that's your fault, right?
And that's good. Let's clap it up. So I look at luck as unexplainable opportunities. Unexplainable opportunities.
Is that luck or is that alignment?
And we can call it tomato. Nobody calls tomato though.
Yeah. I think, I believe it's alignment. I struggle with the luck concept. Isn't there something biblical about luck?
The fact that you say that
But
way.
I don't know what the verse is. Tell me, first of all, I struggle with the, I'm sorry?
Luck and chance comes to us all. You all right?
Chance and alignment. I'm not
Okay,
choosing the word luck.
Okay. First you was using the Bible, and now you're like,
I'm not choosing. This is, I make the Bible fit my scenario, right? Okay, no, seriously. I just don't know that we're lucky more than we're aligned. And y'all can Google both words and give me the definitions. I believe, you're going to do it?
Of course.
Let's look up lucky. I believe we're aligned. So I believe that, like David used the example of what were the chances of us meeting and going down this path? Well, we could have met the very same time and place. But if I weren't in the position that I was in when David met me, he wouldn't have seen me, right? If I weren't in that position. And if he weren't introduced to me through the means that he was introduced to me, I honestly wouldn't have seen him. So it wasn't luck. It was a situation that I believe was perfectly aligned.
I agree. I agree with you 100%.
No, you don't.
I do.
Okay. Let me
We're just
let me
so
translate the Bible
definition
to
of
fit
luck
my
is
my
success
scenario.
or failure apparently brought by chance rather than through one's own actions.
What is this? Luck?
Luck. Success or failure apparently brought by chance rather than through one's own actions. Now, I think when the opportunities come, you have to be prepared. That's not getting lucky. But there's so many unexplainable opportunities. So I met my wife on Tinder.
Shout out
That's
Tinder.
all the jokes about.
I feel a Tinder sponsorship coming for the Social Proof podcast.
My wife on Tinder. I got lucky. I didn't know. I didn't know that I was gonna meet her. Now, when I meet my wife, I have to be the man that God is designing me to be. I have to be someone that she approves of. I didn't marry her by luck, but I met her by chance. It didn't. You can't explain certain things. Or. So, for instance, I know Terica. Terica met Naveen Jain, gentleman I just did a interview with, but she met him on a panel. So for some reason, she meets him on a panel, and they start building a relationship. And she mentions to me, "Hey, this guy should be on a podcast. You should be on his podcast." And they set that up. I did nothing to make that happen. How would I be in control of that happening? So luck.
So luck is by chance, right?
Luck is by chance.
Is it by chance that you and Dre are on the same dating profile, looking for a connection, having chosen what your preferences were in the city of Atlanta, in this age group, with these hobbies and interests, looking for this type of relationship status? Like, you guys were in alignment, which means in perfect position. You positioned yourself and your profile in a way that aligned with the way that she positioned herself and her profile.
I agree.
It wasn't chance. Chance is kind of just walking into a room and out of a million people you meet one. You didn't do that.
You're pursuit. But I didn't pursue her on that. Well, I swiped left or right.
You swipe right.
I swipe right. I swipe one of them. But my thing is, and
You were focused.
My experiences, the opportunities that come my way, for a good portion of them, wasn't an opportunity that I forced. It was just an opportunity that I was prepared for, though, to take advantage of. Alignment, for sure. I don't think there's a one way of defining it. Like,
next question.
I don't think there's one way of defining it.
We are not going back and forth on this word banter.
I like the chapter. Did y'all read the chapter? Y'all didn't agree with that chapter?
I read the chapter, and I personally agree with you.
Thanks, man.
Due to the fact that I did read the chapter, you said two things. You said luck and you said time.
Luck and time.
So I think that's where it falls in at, is that the right timing, and it just so happened to be in luck. Like, he happened to be at the right place at the right time and got the right opportunity.
Check this out. Check this. Has anyone read the book Outliers? Have you read the book Outliers? What did those kids do to be better than the other kids outside of their parents bearing them in this particular date? And you have to read the book to understand what I'm saying. But there are certain kids, if you are the youngest kid in let's say like the league is, I don't know, 7 to 10. 17-year-olds play in one basketball league. If you are born on the first day of that starting date, meaning you're the youngest, you're the 7-year-old, a new 7-year-old playing with seasoned 10-year-olds. By the time that 7-year-old is 10, drastically better than other 10-year-olds that they grew up with. Now the 10-year-old is playing with 7-year-olds. By the time they get to a bigger league, they'll be worse because they're playing with less competition. But what did the kid do? Nothing. You were just born in this time. But I believe you have to, but it's not because you're born this time and you're this particular age, that doesn't mean you don't have to work hard. So I am in the belief that I'm going to work hard and I'm going to be prepared for all these opportunities. We could do it luck, we could do it with blessings. I have not forced God to give me anything. There's some things in my life I cannot explain that I don't deserve. Anybody else? If something ever happened to you that you don't deserve. So, I mean, we can use it as luck, blessing, alignment, what have you. What I'm saying is some things are going to happen in your life that you are not in control of. But the only thing you can control is your ability to be prepared for it.
What is luck even? Like, I feel
I've
like
read the definition already.
it's an illusion. Like, you can't pursue luck, but you can pursue alignment.
Can you pursue alignment?
Yes, you can intentionally do and become things
I don't know about
that
that.
align you. Are you kidding me?
You can intentionally pursue alignment.
Yes.
You can improve your chances.
You can
for
improve
alignment.
your chances.
But you can't, all right, I'm going to be aligned right here, this time, this place.
Yes.
You cannot control that.
Yes, you can.
Yo, there was a guy that manifested you. We were at Cheesecake Factory. My man said, like we bumped into, the guy was holding the door. He said, oh, Donni. And she said, hey. And I'm there, I'm just standing there. He said, oh my gosh, yo, I manifested you. I manifested this moment. This is supposed to happen. We gonna connect. Did y'all connect? My man trying to force the alignment. Anybody ever told you God told me you gonna be my husband? And you like, tell him to call me. I ain't get that. Let me check my emails. Maybe
But it's possible that he saw me post
Mm-hmm.
being at the Cheesecake Factory with you, and then he's like, let me get in her path intentionally and align myself with her.
But he didn't get in your path intentionally. Like y'all just happened to be at the same place
Now
at the same time.
that was chance. That was chance.
Next question.
Next
Chance,
question.
luck.
So my question is in terms of expanding my network. As I follow you and watch
That's
you.
a pivot. She said, bring up all this
She's
chance,
like,
luck,
look,
time
whatever
stuff.
y'all were talking about,
I got questions.
I am not interested. I came to get a
I
question
was coming
answered.
to take up the opportunity that I got, and I have the microphone.
I got
so
Yo,
I was
have
gonna
you
do that.
noticed?
What?
Before we got started, we kind of asked them what they wanted us to talk
Yeah, I'm
about, and
sorry.
we didn't talk about any of that.
That literally happens every time. I tried it. Y'all didn't send me the paper. I'm blaming y'all.
Y'all didn't slide the paper. Wait,
That
wait.
happening to me was my
Take
fault.
ownership. Take ownership. He just did what he told
It was
y'all not to
y'all
do.
Okay? I'm sorry. Go ahead, man. Go ahead.
So it's part of what you're talking about because I think the network has a lot to do with it. As I watch you all, Neil Davis is in your network, some other people in your network.
Yep.
I watched you mention that you took Donni with you to Rick Ross's house for the brunch.
Mhm.
And that's how she got in, part of how she got in that room. She also did what she needed to do to get in that room, which expands your network. So if your net worth is a result of your network and you're trying to build your network because of the 5 people that I have in my network, how have you all expanded your network? Is that a clear question?
I think so.
Okay.
I mean, yeah.
What have you done, the two of you, to expand your network?
Good. That's a good question.
Clarity. Because
What have we done to expand our network?
Network.
Oh, we be in these streets.
In the streets.
We're in these streets. No, seriously.
Morning meetup is always the right answer for everything.
Yeah. Number one, we build community, right? But we're really in these streets. We're at events that we qualify to attend, like Black EquityCon.
Hey.
We invest in ourselves, so we invest in other communities, like the morning meetup. We invest in ourselves. No, seriously, like we invest in masterminds where people that can increase our network are in, right? So we Dave and I consistently look for like, yo, whose mastermind can we join like right now? And it doesn't matter what the investment is for 10,000, 50,000, whatever the number is. We are doing that as well. But also going into a room and figuring out how you stand out and like when you understand how you stand out, how you're unique, you'll go into a room and you'll leverage that every single time. Like, I know when I walk into a room, I bring a certain energy. I maximize that. I'm not gonna go in the corner and sit down because my goal is to increase or add to my network and actually connect with people. So I think the biggest things that I've done is taking advantage of opportunities where there are a lot of people around, and leaning into my friends' network, like leveraging other people's networks for sure. We talked this morning about getting with a sideline partner and you guys going in and sharing your network amongst each other. Those are just some things that I've done.
100%. I would say one is get in a community and because every community is a group of people of common thoughts, beliefs, cultures, things of that nature. But if you get in a community where it's already understood that we're moving in the same direction, it's just easier to connect with people, just being active in a community. So you'll see a lot of people that's in the morning meetup that are just active in the community, and people say, yo, oh, Nella, I see you, oh, right? The second thing is build something. The best networking tool is something that you've built, a company, some sort of success. My goal wasn't let me build out my network. My goal was to let me sell as many t-shirts as possible. And people just started seeing the t-shirts around. Oh, I'm seeing your shirts everywhere. Who is this person who got these t-shirts? If you make enough noise, people will search for where this noise is coming from.
Don't miss that, y'all. David is saying become so good at what you're doing that you become magnetic, and people now want to add you to their network.
Oh, absolutely.
Become an authority in your space, and people then want to add you to their network. I think that's probably the strongest thing you can do. And then the second thing, just pay for it. Just pay. Like, forget all of the wheeling and dealing and trying to meet people in these free events that's free before 10, and just pay. Pay to be in certain rooms. If I didn't pay to be in certain rooms, I wouldn't have access to many of the people who are in my network today. And that's just the bottom line. There's nothing wrong with paying for it.
Yeah. I talked to this young lady. We was at the stairs, and it was like a group of us like trying to convince her to be in the morning meetup. And I asked her like, this kind of stuff happens all the time. But we was like, yo, how much did you pay for your ticket? She said like $500 some. I said, do you know how much the morning meetup paid? How much? $50. So I got a content creation course that people pay $1,000 for the content creation course. Do you know how much people in the morning meetup pay for the content creation course? Nothing. So I be trying to convince somebody to invest $79 or $33.99 a year, but like we do these events like this, maybe not this many people, but I'll just throw on events where we have more speakers, engagement. We call it a family reunion, and they don't gotta pay nothing for it. I spend tens of thousands of dollars to put it on. So the money that y'all put in, I'll put it right back. And she was like, oh my gosh, how do you get people to be like raving fans and raving about the morning meet? I add so much value, it's ridiculous. Big value. Thank you. So build something. Okay, go ahead. And we got to wrap up. Yeah, we got 2 minutes.
Okay.
We're actually over. I'm just saying 2 minutes.
So, David, I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to disagree with you.
You should.
As I should. You know, and this is because you called me ghetto in the morning meetup this morning, but you know. No, but so you do have to be in alignment.
Mm-hmm.
Because, for example, just like you were stating, you met Dre on Tinder. If you were the person that you were probably 3 years before you met Dre, she probably wouldn't have been attracted to you.
You're right.
So you have to align yourself with being a certain person before you can attract that person. And I was the same. I mean, when I met Jay Star, I wasn't looking for anybody. I wasn't, and Kamoy was actually the reason why I met him. But had I been the person I was a couple months before I met him, he wouldn't. Our spirits, everything that we needed in our lives, wouldn't have been in alignment with each other. And even with Warren Buffett, like he started his career path not by chance or luck.
Mm-hmm.
Like he went by, okay, this is what I want, this is what I need. And he went to this one specific investment building every single day for the longest time until one day the CEO came out.
Mm-hmm. No, 100%.
But that was alignment.
Absolutely.
So there you go.
So let me tell you this. When I was on Tinder, I'd swipe, but if the people got too ridiculous, I just close the app. I'm done. I just get my thumb gets fatigued. Why didn't I just close the app before I got to my wife? Luck. The Holy Spirit told me to be on Tinder. One more swipe, son.
Desperation. David was like,
it wasn't
look,
luck, it wasn't alignment, it was desperation. I was
it's
just
limited out here in these
swiping
streets.
my life away.
You were looking for dinner. You wanted to take someone. No, you were in a line. You didn't close the app out because deep down inside, spiritually, you were focused on finding a connection.
I'm okay with that.
And you may have tired on certain days and become frustrated with the app or feeling like this isn't going to work. But still spiritually, you're like, but still. And I'm hearing that this is the easiest way to meet people. And I'm busy and I don't really want to be in these streets. So let me kind of be as discreet as possible.
You think all that happened was going through my head. I was just on that joint like, what y'all doing later? Nope, I'm good.
This little joint right here might be something.
She had this little dress on. I'm
but
like, ooh.
Spiritually.
So look, here's the thing. I think you don't like the word luck. So let's just exchange it for blessings.
No. Luck and...
How's it not the same?
Luck? You think blessings are luck?
Hold on.
Yo, what? Something unexplainable that happens to you. You can't explain it. Blessings, say it again? Yes. That's what are you on my team? You on my team? That's what I'm talking about. Luck ain't got
Let me hear y'all clap
crazy.
it up if you are team alignment.
Here's the thing. I think we're all saying the same thing. Y'all just don't like the choice of words.
It's the same.
But do me a favor, because we gotta go.
What if you make $1 million in a day?
Yes.
We strategize about it. We got everything put in place. We put the systems in place and we know the hours that was spent. Day of execution comes, you make $1 million.
Yes.
And you go to someone and you like really, really proud. You go to a mentor and he said, man, wow, you got lucky.
That's not necessarily what I'm saying.
Well, wow.
That's not necessarily what I'm saying. You know what? Okay, here we go. I know Neil. I know Noah. I'm about to get out of here. I know. We're done. We're done after this. Because Sean gonna have bars. So
it's gonna be quick.
I happened to come a little bit late for one of my coaches, Neo, doing an amazing presentation. And I asked him, I said, how you learn that? And he told me how he learned it. And I signed up for Myron's program where he learned it. But if I had came 20 minutes after that, I probably wouldn't have asked him. I probably wouldn't have got connected with Myron, but I didn't do anything.
That's alignment all day.
Okay, it's alignment. Okay,
it's
all
alignment.
right. Okay,
clap it
all
up
right.
if you're team luck.
I'll go with it. Listen, we got to wrap.
Team alignment. This has been another amazing edition of the Social Proof Podcast. Team Donni in the building.
Yes, we got to wrap this thing up, man. Y'all check out, make sure if you're here live, make sure you go follow the podcast. Please subscribe to the podcast. We appreciate all your support. Take many pictures and screenshots. Do me a favor. Talk about how I was wrong on your Instagram. I want to see it. Tag me. I respect your opinion and how you operate your life. Okay, we got to go, Donni.
We got to go. We are out of here,
Love
you guys.
y'all.
Love
Clap it up.
y'all.